Hi there. So today I'm going to be making some cake pops for my niece Hazel's birthday party. Her mom asked me if I would make some cake pops. I only do this about once a year because it does take quite a bit of time, but it's completely worth it. The kids love them, adults love them. They're super easy to just grab and bite and walk around with. It's a fun dessert. It looks really cool. It's almost like a little decoration too, and it tastes really yummy. So I am going to be making that for her today. And all you really need is a baked cake. So I already baked this cake according to the box directions, and this is the funfetti cake. I thought that would be kind of fun to do the funfetti cake because it's got all those little bits of color in it. And you let it completely cool, and then you need about, depending on the consistency you want, I usually use about 3/4 of a can of whatever kind of frosting you want. So you kind of pick your flavor that you want. You can do any flavor you want. You're going to need a bag of the melting chocolate, and also I use sticks. I put them on sticks, and then I wrap them in little bags individually. You can do it like I do and wrap them on a stick in a bag. You can put them on a stick unwrapped. You don't have to put them on a stick at all. Like, you can really do whatever you want. It's just the way I like to do it. So anyway, let's get started. Basically, the first thing I'm going to do is take this completely baked and completely cooled cake and crumble it up into a big bowl and then add the frosting. I'm just going to grab the spoon here and start scooping this cake out and putting it into my container here. And these funfetti cakes, they tend to be a little bit more, or we'll say it this way, they tend to have a little bit more moisture in them. So the amount of moisture that you have in the cake is going to depend on the amount of frosting that you put in. I wouldn't recommend putting in the entire can of this frosting because it will be too wet. I usually end up doing about 3/4, and then for this funfetti cake, I might even do a little bit less of it, but we'll see what happens. It's not like an exact amount or anything. It's just kind of, you look at your mixture and kind of decide what you want. This looks like that. Basically a crumbled cake. We're gonna mix that up, get it all crumbled up, and at this point you can go in here with your hands if you want and mix it up. Just some of these like end pieces, the brown bits. Oops. So I'm just kind of going in here and crumbling up all these bits. I chose this rich and creamy, just plain old vanilla frosting. I sometimes go with cream cheese frosting, but I decided to go with this one this time. Some more kind of natural vanilla flavor. Okay, so I'm gonna take out about half. I'll start with half of it. So I took about half of that out, and then I'm just gonna mix this all up. And you guys, like, no one else is going to be using this, so I'm sticking my spoon back in. It's fine. Not too worried about it. Honestly, I'll probably end up throwing the rest of that frosting away because we won't use it. We won't eat it. So yeah, that was about 3/4 of the container of frosting. I have it to the consistency I want it, and basically you just want it to be a consistency that you can sort of roll into a ball and it will stay in a ball, because after that you're going to stick it on the stick and then coat it in the coating chocolate. So I'm going to set this aside just for a second, and I'm going to go get my little heater out that I heat up the melting chocolate in, so I'll be right back. This is what I use to heat up the little candy melts here, and you literally just put them in this little crock pot and it heats it up for you. It's kind of like a fondue little container. I got this probably, well, how long have we been married? Over 10 years. I don't even know, guys, I'm the worst at remembering my anniversary, okay? Don't ask me. You ask Nate, he's on top of it. Johnny on the spot, not me. But anyway, we got this for a wedding present. It was on my registry, and I've had it for over 10 years. But I'm just gonna dump some of these in there and get it plugged in and get it heating up. And I just do like half of the bag at a time. So this is what they look like. They're like little wafers. I don't know if you've ever used these before. They're vanilla flavored. I don't even think, it's not real chocolate. Guys, I don't even know what this is made out of. Probably something horrible for you. Sugar, palm oil, and some other artificial stuff. It's probably not the best for you, okay? But once a year, okay? Once a year. I've just got some parchment paper on a pan here. And what I'm gonna do is take my ice cream scoop, and this is like, it's like a 1-inch ball maybe. I got this for a wedding present too. It's Pampered Chef, I think. So I've got like 2 Pampered Chef things, and they're amazing. But basically I'm just gonna use this to kind of measure out my cake balls. And you just put it in your hand, roll it around, obviously make sure your hands are clean. And I make them into about a 1-inch ball, like about that size. And then what I do is I stick it on the cookie sheet. Once we get this cookie sheet filled up with about 1-inch balls, I might do them a little bit bigger than that, we'll see. We're gonna put them in the freezer, just kind of harden up before we, man, Max is going to town over there with a paper bag. Are you having fun? Yeah. We're gonna put these in the freezer, and just to kind of allow them to harden up a little bit before we try to stick them on the stick and then coat them in the chocolate, because that's the hardest part and the most time consuming is trying to get them coated while they're on the stick without falling off of the stick. So it helps if they're a little bit hardened up. So let's get these on the cookie sheet, and then we'll move on to the next step. All of the balls rolled out, and we can roll them into more of a perfect circle once they get a little bit of hardness to them from the freezer. But we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38. So we ended up with 38 cake pops. So we'll get these in the freezer, I don't know, for maybe 10-15 minutes until they kind of feel hard to the touch, and we'll start getting them on the sticks. The coating chocolate is completely melted. It's nice and drippy. And these are a little bit harder than they were when I put them in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a few of them out and work with them, and then keep the rest in the freezer until I need them. And we'll just use a few at a time. We'll just use like 6 is fine. We'll put these back, and I'm just gonna kind of roll them up a little bit more. And then what you want to do is, this is what I found out from trial and error. You're going to take your little stick, and this stick is probably, does it say 6 inches? It's a 6-inch little stick here. And what I do is I put a little bit of the coating chocolate on the end of it, so that the ball, once you stick it in here, it stays on. It kind of like glues it to the bottom there. The bottom of it hardens fairly quickly there. And then what I'm gonna do is I don't stick it in and move it around, because I've had the ball fall off like almost every time when I do that. So I kind of just like stick it in like this, and I'll get a close-up of it too, but I put a little bit of chocolate on it, and then I take my spoon and I gently go around it and just like kind of coat it with my spoon. Like I said, very gently. Make sure all the spots are completely covered. And this is why it takes such a long time. But this is just the way I do it. And I usually put some, you know, music that I like on in the background, or a TV show or something like that, and just have fun while I'm doing it. Got it all coated, and then at this point, while it's still wet, you can decide if you want to decorate it with some sort of like sprinkles or something like that. I do have some pink sprinkles and some purple sprinkles. I'm just gonna leave some of them plain, and then some of them I'm gonna put some sprinkles on. But I also got this little tray. It says baby cakes. I'm not sure. I got it for another wedding present years ago, but I'm not sure how I got it. But it's this little tray, and it has the cutout circles in there along with these like stick holders. So I literally just stand them in there as it dries, just like that. Let them dry and then keep going. So basically that's what I'm gonna do. But first I'm gonna get all of the balls on the ends of the sticks and get them back in the freezer so that they can start freezing up a little bit more until we dip them in the coating chocolate. I would just stop for a second and show you too. So when you put the ball on the stick, you only want it to go in about halfway. Otherwise it will just kind of split the ball down the middle and break right open. So once you get it in there, I only stuck it in about just under halfway. So then I'm just gonna stick it in this little bowl here, and we'll put these back in the freezer to harden up a little bit more. Like that. Coat them with melting chocolate. I've been sprinkling a little bit of sparkly sugar, or whatever you want to call that, on there. Sprinkles. And after I get them all coated and sprinkled, we're going to wrap them up in the bag and tie them, and they will be ready to go. I have some that are completely done and dry, and I haven't lost any yet, so that's great. But we're gonna get them in a little baggie, and these bags you can just get at, I get them at the Meijer grocery store, you can get them at Hobby Lobby, any like arts and crafts store. Sometimes they'll have them like in the cake decorating section, but it's just this tiny little bag. And then I stick it in there like that, and they come with little twisty ties that are usually this silver color. You can use the twisty tie, or you can use, if you want something more decorative, you can use your own little string or whatever. I've done both, but obviously it takes a lot more time to tie a string on when you can just use this twisty tie. Take it like that and twist it around the cake pop, and you're good to go. A little personal cake pop. I'll put this in a little pile. We'll get the rest of them coated, sprinkled, and wrapped up, and I'll come back in the end. this pink color, and I had to use just some white baking chocolate. I still had some pink left in this container. So I mixed in the white and it actually turned out a little bit of like a blush pink color, and I put the purple sparkles on it. So it's actually turning out really pretty. So it'll be nice that she will have a couple different colors. I am just finishing up the last ones here. We ended up having a few with that light pink and then the pink sparkle because I ran out of the purple sparkle. I'm just gonna finish wrapping these up. And I'm trying to get this done before Nate's football game tonight. He has his, I think it's his last football game for the season, and then next weekend they're in the playoffs. And then I wanted to let you guys know that the following weekend, Nate and I are leaving for Atlanta. I'm going down to record some vocals on my songs that we tracked in this last summertime. If you are newer hanging out with us here, you probably don't know that I went down to Nashville this past summer, just recorded some songs that I wrote, some country songs, and now it's time for the vocals to be recorded, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go down and do that, and I'll be gone for a week, and I'll actually be gone over Halloween, which is really sad because I love Halloween. I always dress up as Ariel, the Little Mermaid, every single year since I can remember. And leave that one. I think that was the last one I did, so it was still a little wet, but I won't be able to dress up for Halloween anymore this year. And my development here where I live, we get quite a few kids that come around and they love coming to my house because I usually decorate my gully garden down there with like fun, cute Halloween stuff, and they walk down there in the paths in the gully on the grass paths, and I usually put like bowls of candy down there. And I'm really sad because I won't be able to do that this year, and I haven't told the kids yet. I'm gonna have to put it on the little Facebook neighborhood page and let everybody know that I won't be here to do that. But I'll probably end up posting my movie from last Halloween when I did it, so you guys can have something to watch if you're not a big Halloween person and you just need something to do. You can watch my movie if you want. But anyway, so there we have it. 38 cake pops, and they are all set to go. I'm going to find something to put them in and make them look a little bit more decorative. I'll take them tomorrow to my niece's birthday party. Her birthday party is later in the evening. And before that birthday party, I actually have to go to my cousin's baby shower. So I got a pretty full day tomorrow. Maybe I'll get some clips of those different things for you guys if you want to come along. But anyway, I'm gonna look for something to put these in, and then I'll show you what we come up with. I wanted to show you the 4 colors that we ended up with. So we have like the 2 pink with the different sparkles on them, and then the 2 lighter pinks with the different sparkles. Turned out pretty good. All right, this is what I came up with so far. I just found this cute little white tray in my cabinet, and I stuck some tissue paper all around it. I still have to stick some right here, but Max stole it from me. So I stole 2 of his pipe cleaners and tied them to the sides here. And I'm going to attach a little sign that's gonna hang over here that's gonna say, "Happy birthday, Hazel." I just wrote that out. I think I'm gonna cut this in half and then write like cake pops or something like that. Because sometimes people don't know what these are. Sometimes they look at that and they're like, is that like a toy or like a sucker? So I usually write cake pops. But this is just a cute little like pad of different types of paper that I got from Hobby Lobby. And you can get, this one has 48 pieces of 6x6 paper. And there's all these different kinds of paper in there. So each paper has like a design on it. And then the other side has a different design on it. So that side has that design on it, which it bleeded through, but it's still really cool paper. So I'll probably cut it, write cake pops, and then somehow attach the 2 of these together, and you'll see when I'm done. Alright, well here's the finished product. I certainly didn't plan on doing this much decorating on it, but just one thing led to the other, and then another, and then another. So it says, "Happy birthday, Hazel." I did go ahead and decorate it with pipe cleaners and wood pieces so that it would stand up straight. And then I found these little plastic flowers that I've had for quite some time. I don't know, I think I've had them for like 3 years in my cupboard. I bought a bunch of like crafty supplies for my small group of youth group girls a few years back. I had all my youth group girls come over and we decorated some succulent planters together, and I just have a ton of leftover supplies from that. You want to say hi? Yeah. And then I, of course, busted into Max's pipe cleaners. So thanks, Max. Thank you for letting me use your pipe cleaners, buddy. That was nice. And then tissue paper. I always have tons of tissue paper. I just put around the edges, and we got our cake pops in the middle. Since the party is tomorrow afternoon, I am gonna store these cake pops in the refrigerator. You can store them in the refrigerator or the freezer. They kind of stay more fresh that way. I could certainly leave them out. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. They'd still be really fresh, but I'll probably just put them in the refrigerator for tonight and pull them out when I bring them tomorrow. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I really hope that you had fun just hanging out with us making these cake pops today. All right, we'll see you later. Bye.